Hey guys, what's up? It's me again. I'm not so sick anymore. Um, the tuberculosis kind of like went a little bit away. I also think I got medicine for it, but I don't think that was like it because I was already a little bit done with it, very much done with it. Someone hid some medicine in some food, I think. Uh, So I'm going to talk about the Bible, what the Bible is like, what the storyline of the Bible is talking about, what the storyline of the Bible is preaching about. So you got the first chapters of the Bible, right? These are about Adam and Eve and how they were living in the paradise of that era. Like the first paradise, the first Garden of Eden, um, like the first place that was like kind of like considered a paradise, maybe. Um, but then they sinned, and according to, I think it's maybe according to this guy Stephanus or like others, Stephen or maybe Peter in Acts, when they talk about how what happened to the world with that occurrence, like they ate from the forbidden fruit. Uh, Maybe like in Romans or in Corinthians also, or in Hebrews, but it's talking about somewhere in the Bible, in the New Testament, I think it's talking about how this was basically how the sin came into the world, like how the sin came into the world, right? If you read in Galatians, you're gonna see how there's something called the sin, the flesh, maybe like the flesh. And then if you read in Romans, you're gonna see something that's called sin in the flesh, okay? Or like say just sin, Sin is the sin inside us, the sin inside us. And if you also read in Galatians chapter maybe 3 or 4, you're gonna read, or maybe 2, you're gonna read about how um, the spirit and the flesh is warring against each other, okay? And I think that's kind of like the spirit and the sin in the flesh, okay? The sin in the flesh, okay? The spirit and the sin in the flesh, okay? There might be a little bit of like, you know, uh, the flesh is mostly as the sin without the spirit. So the flesh isn't the flesh is weak, the flesh is really weak, and if you don't fight the flesh with the spirit, then you're gonna fall, okay? And that's what the Bible teaches. That's what the New Testament teach a little bit about, okay? uh, so there was a lot of like terrible things happening in the world, like people became evil, they did a lot of evil things, and then came all the prophets, like you got all the judges as well, of course, but all the prophets, like you got Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, um, Moses, Aaron, Miriam, um, and then you go to like the New York Times, like uh, uh, Joshua, I'm not so sure what his name is, like Joshua or Josephus or something. I'm not so sure. And then you go to like you come to things like um, uh, the judges, okay, okay. You come to things like the judges, okay, and then you go further on to people like um, Samuel and David and Saul, which was kings. Judges were leaders of Israel. Uh, Saul and David were kings, and all these kings come, and you got Solomon, and you got all these people, like, okay, you got all these people, and then you come to all these prophets that you read later on in the Bible, okay. So in one of those prophets, in Isaiah, Jeremiah, or Ezekiel, you're gonna find something that you can also find in Hebrews. Um, it's like this, okay? I'm gonna read it as good as I can from a Norwegian Bible, chapter 8, Hebrews. Verse 9 to 12, okay? Notice that pact it starts in verse 8. See, look, the days are coming, says the Lord, when I will establish a pact with Israel's house and with the house of Judah. Not as the pact as I established with their forefathers on the day I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. So this is talking about a pact that God established with the house of Israel, like the Jews. And this is actually something that comes before Jesus, and Jesus is coming with something new, okay? Because he's a high priest, because he's like he is a high priest after the ordinance of Melchizedek. Okay? Melchizedek was a guy that talked to Abram, got 1/10 of everything that Abram had. Okay, and Abram is the forefather of the Jews. Okay. For they were not staying. They did not stay in my pact, and I did not care about them, says the Lord. For this is the pact I will establish with the house of Israel after those days, says the Lord. I will put my laws in their mind and in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. None of them shall teach their next and say to his brother or no, neither say to his brother and say, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least of them to the biggest of them. For I shall be merciful towards their iniquities and their sins and their breaking of law, and I shall never and the breaking of law I shall never remember no more. Okay. So there's the Jews. That came with Abraham. There's the pact that came with Moses and God, between God and Moses and the people. And there's the new pact that comes when Jesus kind of like writes it into your heart, okay? Because there's a new prophet that came. His name was Jesus Christ, okay? His name was Jesus Christ. He was a guy that came to teach people about forgiveness and about love and about hope, and about faith. And he also talked about like charity and stuff like that. But Jesus, he was a special guy. He was a very special guy. Sorry. I just ate, but that's okay. you know, so what I'm trying to teach you now is that Jesus came for you. He came to establish a pact with you. Okay, he came to bring peace between humanity and God. He came to buy you free from the devil, okay? Because that's also something that the New Testament teaches. I don't know if it says that he came to buy you free from the devil, but came to buy you free, okay? He came to buy you free, okay? He came to save this world from the sins. He came to help the world, okay? So Jesus, Jesus is great. He's very great. Um, and I'm out of sync with this teaching. I'm not so good with this teaching anymore, but I'm gonna try it one more time. Um, so there's also some controversy about like work and faith and stuff like that. Before you have to before some people are like deep into the ditch, they're deep into sin, they're deep into uh, destruction, and they have to get up. Um, they have to teach themselves how to live again. Okay, they have to teach themselves or be taught how to live, or be taught by others, how to live. Okay, taught by others how to get by, taught by others how to uh, get things done. So something that you're gonna find in the Bible is actually about being sober. Okay, it's about being sober. It's about having faith, because you need to think before you act, and you need to forgive. You need to come to a redemption. You need to um, you need consolidation. You need comfort. You need um, like you need to stitch yourself together. Like you need to stitch your mind together. You need to uh, get your thoughts into, or you need to get your thoughts organized. You need to like work at your heart. You need to do all these kind of things. And that's what, the Bible is a lot about, rehabilitating people that have had a hard time, okay? That have had a hard time, okay? So, don't think about the Bible as like something to bash people over the skulls with, but something that could teach you how to get your life in order, okay? Okay? So that's gonna be my greeting and my speech for today, okay? Bye bye. 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.